question I'm often asked when people find out I went through the loss of my health, job, and marriage in a short period of time is they want to know, well, how did you move from that shattered life as you knew it to where you are today? What did it look like to rebuild your life? In fact, one divorced woman said, I just wish I could have followed you around during that time so I would know what would help me as I'm rebuilding my life after divorce. Well, the good news is if you're like that woman, I'm going to share a series of videos to help you understand what that journey of rebuilding looks like. And I'll share my story as I share that. But for me, my journey started in my 30s when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Not once, but twice within 6 months. I was given a 2% chance to be alive in 10 years. My son was only 9 years old, which meant I had a 2% chance to see him graduate from high school. I was given chemotherapy, radiation, and an experimental bone marrow transplant. Here's a picture of me the day I found out I could go home from the bone marrow transplant. As my son said later, Mom, you were just a ghost in a shell. And that big smile on my face is because my blood counts were finally high enough that I could go home and see my son. But cancer wasn't the only challenge for me. I lost my job because I was too weak to go back to work. And after months of separation, I went through a divorce. So I had 3 major losses. And I wish I could say to you, I just trusted God to get me through those tough times. But the truth was, I had lots and lots of pity parties. I thought no one was suffering like I did. No one understood the pain I was in. And I didn't believe my life would ever get better. I was hopeless, helpless, and just couldn't see how things could change. If you're feeling that way, you're feeling hopeless, helpless, I know I just wanted to go to bed, pull the sheets up over my head and stay there. If you're feeling like that, that's normal, those kinds of reactions that I had, believing I was the only one suffering. But here's the deal. I learned that if I continued to wallow in that self-pity, to just stay stuck in the muck, so to speak, I was never going to move beyond it. I needed to learn how to grieve what no longer could be, so that one day I could then move on to what could be in my life. Now, if you're wondering, well, what does grieving look like? Healthy grieving in our daily life. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. But right now, I want to say, are you stuck in your hurt and pain? Are you overwhelmed by all the intense emotions of sadness and anger, all the feelings that come with loss? And if you are, that's okay. We all get there at one point, but we don't want to stay there. So my big question is, are you willing to accept and recognize what no longer can be? Are you willing to grieve so that one day you can heal? Now, I'm going to soon be doing a group. It's going to start in December, Rebuild for Women who are separated and divorced. I'd love to have you join me. And you might be thinking, well, I'm not going through a divorce. I lost my job or my husband died. Well, I have lots of resources at georgiaschaefer.com, so go there. I have a button. I do personal coaching, and I'd love to help you through the steps of rebuilding.